Welcome to Sold Sistas podcast. I'm your girl Latrice. I'm Kendra.
I'm Charles Richardson.
Today we have a very special guest. We have Charles Richardson. He is originally from Detroit, Michigan, and now he's currently in Arizona. And Charles, can you introduce yourself to our audience and tell us about yourself?
I'm Charles Richardson. As you mentioned, I'm originally from the city of Detroit. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I am a real estate broker. My tagline, if I can say, is I'm known as the uncommon real estate agent. What I do is I hire, teach, and train agents who how to become great real estate agents first. And then from there, I show them how to become investors. And then after that, I show them how to attract investors. So I've been doing it now for 35 years. I started off buying single family houses. Went from single family houses to duplexes, to triplexes, to fourplexes, and then I started buying 40-acre parcels of land. Still owns today. And it's kind of what I do. I do a lot of teaching, training, and coaching. Just helping agents level up to the next level. One of our models is stop chasing commission.
Great model.
Because one of the things that I discovered is that a lot of real estate agents are chasing commissions to pay the bills. So I can recall years ago, I was talking to my coach, my mentor, which I think everybody should have. And I came back to visit him. The market had shifted. And I was still making money, but not to the degree in which I was. And I can recall a conversation with him, and the question was, how is it that we can make the same amount of money, but yet our lifestyles are different? And he said something to me that I'll always remember. He said, it's simple. I planned this lifestyle. You have become like many other real estate agents out there who go to work to sell houses to pay their bills. As a result, my bills just get paid. And I remember sitting there and saying, well, what am I doing wrong? You forgot what I taught you. In real estate, commissions is the least amount of money you ever make in real estate. So if it's the least amount of money you ever make, why chase it? So what should I be doing? He said, you need to create a way in which you get recession-proof your business. That's kind of where I'm at. Teaching agents how to recession-proof their business. So doing a seminar this weekend on recession-proof your business by way of agent attraction and investing in real estate. So I think real estate professional, you cannot have a recession-proof business if all you do is list and sell houses. You have to be an investor. So my agents who I work with, I have my own brokerage firm. All of them are investors. All of them have businesses that generate cash flow. So that doesn't matter to us if the market goes up, down, or sideways. We still do well. So I was talking with an agent this morning. The agent said they were talking to someone. That person said they're waiting to buy when the market comes down.
Oh, we hate that. The agent said that?
The agent said they're talking to a client.
Okay.
And the client said they're waiting to buy when the market goes down. Well, what happens if the market goes up?
Exactly.
Then you have people say prices are too high. So when it's come down, or interest rates is too high. So then when it's come down. Essentially what's happening is that agent's business is dictated on something unrelated to them, the market. But when you're a real estate investor like myself and my agents, it doesn't matter if the market goes up or goes down or goes sideways. We still do well. If the market goes up, that means the value of our homes goes up. If we need cash, we just do a cash out refi. Pull the money out tax free. If the market goes down, no big deal. That just means we buy more houses. So to us, it doesn't matter if it goes up, down, if it goes sideways. If it goes sideways, then it's not doing anything. I just say, start paying off some of your debt. So that way we keep it flowing. That creates a recession-proof business.
Okay. So a lot of this, you've already actually like You're literally going in order. It's crazy. It's almost like you're at this. When did you realize you were built different in this business?
That's a good question. I don't know if it was so much built different, but I remember a time in which uh, when you're in this business for a long time, you experience a lot. And I remember when the market had gone through a transition in which I was making very little money,
Can you remember when that time was?
2008,
Oh, yeah, the housing market.
when we had the housing crash. So, it's something that I can laugh at now, but I can remember a time in which I was parking my car 2 or 3 blocks away just so that I can keep the repo man from taking it. And at the same time, my home had gone into foreclosure. I'm still working as hard as I possibly could, but I couldn't get banks to do any financing. People were not buying houses because they couldn't get financed. And, it's interesting. I was in the shower, and I'm not too proud to say this. I don't know if there was more water coming out of the spigot or water running down my face because I felt helpless. It seemed like nothing I did was happening. And that's when the whole idea came up is, you need something that's recession-proof. So I remember one time my daughter and I were talking, and she says to me, I said to her, I said, baby, daddy made us go get a job. And she says, why would you go and get a job? I said, that way we can keep, the bills paid on time and food in the house and so forth. She says, well, if you go and get a job, that means someone else is going to be able to put their thumb on you. That means you're going to be working for someone else. She said, Daddy, don't take the job. Keep doing what you're doing. I know you're going to pull us out of this because my home is in foreclosure. And, cars and so forth. I'm like, it's nothing worse than seeing your car go down the street on the back of a pickup truck and the car works. She's about playing hopscotch with her friends or jump roping, and she said that my car goes down the street on the back of her trunk, and she says, ain't that our car right there? And I looked and I said, yeah, baby, we would like to cover that car anyway, right? So I could laugh at it.
Right.
But it happened 3 times. It happened 2 more times after that. And when I realized I was different was the day I realized that I'm more than a conqueror. I can control this. A lot of people say that what I teach is competition. There's no competition in what I teach. It's a calling. So I got to the point where when I realized I was different is when my clients were not able to get finance. So the eye-opener was I realized I had to do something different. So I would sit down with clients, and when the banks were saying no, that meant I wasn't making any money. So I started saying something different than I say today. So when I started sitting down with clients and I was asking them this question, do you want the house or do you want a mortgage? And people start saying, I want a house. Okay. Does it matter to you who you make your mortgage payment available to? As long as you get the rate and the terms that work for you and your family, you think people say they want a house.
Right.
So I started doing that, and I started helping a lot of families get into houses. No, the banks were not financing them. But what I was doing was I just went to my sphere of influence. I started talking to my investor clients. And I would just tell them, they got a client who wants to buy a house, but can't qualify. You want to buy the house? Yeah, I'll buy it. So my investor clients are buying houses and then turning around and we were putting these families into homes. And then people start saying to me, this is different. I was thinking that it's too good to be true. And one lady said, this is uncommon. because most real estate agents, when they're told no, they will say to their client, come back and see me when you can get finance. I read something that said, to these people, the words no does not exist. And it was wealthy people. To these people, the word no does not exist. Give them what they want, and they're willing to pay you for it.
Okay. So you were saying that to the wealthy, the word no doesn't exist.
Yes. So I read something that said, to these people, the word no does not exist. Give them what they want, and they will pay you for it. And I just lived my life that way. So when I would come across clients who could not get finance, as I mentioned, I was just asking for a house or a mortgage. It always said with the house. So for my clients who were well to do, and I would say to them, I have a client who can't get finance. I know you got money that you said you're not earning much interest on, which we will buy a house and sell a house in the city district. And then 3 years, 4 years from now, they get to go financing and they'll buy the house from you. And they just call on like fire. And people start saying, Mark, this is different. This is uncommon. I was in this filming and the producer said to me, hey, we need a title. I need a title. Your brand. What's your brand? I don't have a brand. He said, where you go by? Charles Richardson. He says, no, who are you? I said, I'm Charles Richardson. My dad's name was Charles Richardson. I'm Charlie's boy. He goes, no, we need a brand. He looks at the watch and he says, we go on in 3 minutes. I need something. I walk out into the studio and they're sitting in a chair. And I just went into prayer. I was like, how these guys asking me, who are Charles Richardson? And I heard this real subtle voice that said, you're not like most, you're different. You are uncommon. You're an uncommon. And I go back out and said, he looks at his watch and goes, we go on the 30 seconds. What you got? I said, I have the uncommon ability. He goes, I like that. Let's roll with it. To this day, that's our logo. That's who we are.
I got a question. I hear you say like praying about it, and you heard some place give you the uncommon grace. How did your faith play a part when you were going through those trials and tribulations in 2008 when the market was down? How did you feel like your faith kept you going and kept you encouraged, if it did keep you encouraged?
That's a good question. My faith did, and I've always been a person who believes in self-improvement. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm always reading something that's going to help me go to the next level. So if I'm looking to go to a level, I'll ask myself, at this point in my life, do I need information or do I need motivation?
That's good.
And if it's information, then the question becomes, what books am I reading? What podcasts am I listening to? Who am I talking to? What am I listening to? That's going to give me the information to take it to the next level. If it's motivation, same answer. What books am I reading? Who am I listening to? Who am I talking to? That's going to motivate me to go to the next level. But at the end of the day, motivation starts from the inside.
Who's been motivating you lately? When you get a little dose of motivation.
So I just lost my mentor.
Sorry.
And he was my coach from, 4 years. And for years, I would reach out to him and he would coach me on how to do things. And to be honest with you, sometimes I still hear his voice. When I'm going through something, I'll ask, how will Chris handle this? And I hear his voice. And he would say, if it was me, this is how I would do it. Or because he was in real estate, his family was in real estate, he did very well. He would just teach by telling stories. And so to this day, the way I teach is I tell stories. And the stories that I tell are of my personal life. You know, it's usually nothing that I've read or anything like that, but someone else's. I teach by telling stories. And the Bible says faith comes by hearing. Well, the hearing does not always have to come from someone else. The hearing comes from me. When I'm speaking to myself, I'm encouraging myself. I hear myself, and it increases my faith.
Yeah.
So when you say, who do I go to? One of the things that we teach, we call it the 4 C's. The first C is competency. What are you reading? What are you studying? Because the competency brings confidence. And to me, confidence is sexy. Okay? The next thing is collaboration. If you and I are collaborating, then we can help each other. If we're in competition, I can't go to you for help. You can't go to me. The next thing is creativity. There is no competition. God did not create us to compete with one another. There's a saying, create the world that you live in and make the world a difference. Because God was a creator, we are co-creators. So when people say, well, Charles, aren't you afraid of forming your own competition? Competition is an illusion.
Right.
So nobody can do me like me. Okay? And my dad used to say, there is no competition, just opposition. So where do I go? I read, I study. I study scripture daily. Even if I'm not reading it, I'm listening to it.
Yeah. So I like this question as you pretty much answered, but I just want to see if there were any other takeaways from what separates the wealthy from everyone else in real estate. I know you mentioned not accepting the word no. Is there anything else that you think separates the wealthy mindset from just any other individual?
So I remember one time I was talking to a mentor, and then it kind of goes back to his lifestyle, my lifestyle, and when he said, you have to become like most real estate agents, you have to sell real estate to pay your bills. Whereas I created this lifestyle. The key word was created. Rich and the wealthy people don't work for money, they create it. So once I learned the formula of creation, and you can create anything you want. So things that are going the way I want them to go, I just create it. So I'll give you an example, several examples. One example was I helped the family get into a home. They could not get financed. I asked the question, when home or mortgage, they want a house. Okay, this is how the money was created. Today's purchase price, I'll buy this house for $400,000. Just using this number for you. How long would you like for me to carry the mortgage for? 3 years. Okay, we're going to structure this way that anytime you can get out. But in the first year, the purchase price is $400,000. If you wait till the next year, then your purchase price is going to be $460,000. If you wait the next year, it's going to be $430,000. But at any given time, you can put the properties you don't make. I created the money by going from $400,000 to $416,000 to $432,000. You follow me?
Right.
That was just a creation. When you look at interest rates, when the bank comes in and they take the interest rate from 6.5%, or 6% to 6.5%, 6.5% to 6 3/4, and 7%. Doesn't matter why it was increased. Somebody's making money from the interest rate between 6% to 7%. That's just creation.
That was a great answer. I heard you say earlier on that you have your own brokerage. How long have you had your own brokerage? And what motivated you to branch off on your own and open your own brokerage opposed to staying with one of traditional brokers?
My message is disruptive.
Yes.
It's controversial. And it's invigorating. So I've had agents I've had brokerage firms come and ask me to come and speak at the brokerage firm because the message is, I want to sell more houses. I want to make more money. When the brokerage firm hear me say that, in their mind, they're thinking, I don't know if I want my agents to hear this.
Right.
Because if my agents are now out making money, as a brokerage firm, we're not making money. But as a result, you have agents leave one brokerage firm and go to another brokerage firm because this brokerage firm has color copiers. They leave for no reason, they leave for petty reason. But if you teach them how to fish, then they'll always be happy and they will stay around. So I'll give you an example. What I'm teaching on this weekend, how to generate, how to create a recession-proof business, you have to be a real estate investor. But if you're a real estate investor, your cash flow comes from your passive income. If you have passive income coming in, what does that have to do with the brokerage firm? Nothing. Because the brokerage firm wants you out there listing and selling houses. So when I say stop chasing commissions, brokerage firms are like, oh, we want this guy now. Well, guess what? I'm a broker. I get it. So one of the things my mentor told me a long time ago, he said, you're going to get to the point to one day, you're not going to feel like putting people in your car or meeting people at a property selling real estate. They don't like the color of the wallpaper. You hate the carpet. They don't like this. They don't like that. And you're going to ask yourself, how long am I going to continue to do this? When I started investing in real estate, today, 95% of my income comes from passive income.
How many doors do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
So my doors are different. Okay? My wife and I, in addition to owning rental properties, we own group homes.
Oh, okay, cool.
So every bed
You get that.
is considered a door.
Yeah.
So if you have 10 doors in one house, 10 doors in another, the difference between having an investment property that can generate $200 a month, maybe $250 in cash flow, a door could be $5,000 a month. So, when you have your own business, it could be a group home, it could be a car wash, it could be a laundromat, it could be anything that generates passive income. So as a broker, that's one of the things that I encourage our agents to do. So there was a time in which, when I worked with the traditional environment, we went from 6 agents to 60 agents in 1 year.
That's impressive.
And then from there, we went from 60 agents to 75. And our team was known as a mega team. But now it's 80, over 80-20. And from there, I went to another brokerage firm. We kind of moved me to come over and work with them. And their message was, pretty much the same as everybody else's message. And that is, build your pipeline. And there's nothing wrong with perspective. But it was never how we get out of the rat race. And my message has always been getting out of the rat race so that you're not working for the money, but the money's working for you.
Yes.
So when we decided to open our own brokerage firm, I only brought 10 agents with me. So we considered small, but that's my intention. So we've made where we're at for the moment, because it's easier for me to teach, train, coach 10 agents versus 70, 75 agents.
Right. Latrice Clark really excited when you guys first met one another. And one of the things she was excited about was the way in which you've been investing. And she said it's untraditional, how you've structured your deals. Can you speak on anything or give any tidbits to agents or new investors like myself? I've done some investing, but not at the level you are. That could help me as far as like getting financing or how I should be handling my portfolio or things like that.
My wise counsel would be this: study. first.
Okay.
Okay. What do you read? Some of the books I can recommend by Amy Kessler, Fortune Baby Feed. Another book by Charles Gibbons, Young Counselors, Robert Kiyosaki, How to Retire Young, Retire Rich. Seven book Cash Flow Quadrant. Okay. So in the book Cash Flow Quadrant, I've done quite well by reading a chapter, Being the Bank, Not the Banker.
Okay.
Yeah, page 137. So once I learned to become the bank and not the banker, you walk into any bank and you see the people with three-piece suits on and dressed all nicely. Those are the bankers. They look nice, but bankers are not the bankers.
Right.
So when I made it up in my mind that I wanted to become the bank, that made a huge difference. So now mortgage companies contact me and say, hey, Charles, I've got this buy. They've got great income. There's a home that they want to buy, but I can't get this person financed right now. Why? They filed bankruptcy, they divorced, life.
Right.
Well, that's who I want to work with. So it's kind of funny, and I joke like kid about this, but I have people who I help get into houses that way. And my one rule is this: listen, after you guys get situated, you have your first barbecue. I want to be invited to the barbecue. Why is that? I learned that broke people hang out with broke people. People with bad credit or credit challenge hang out with people with bad challenge. Hustlers hang out with hustlers. So if I'm working with this person and he has income coming in, but the bank says no right now, guess who he's hanging out with? Other people who has great income that bring something in. They run a lot through the business, not cash, but can't get financed.
Right.
So they invite me to their first barbecue. Typically, it's about entertaining, have people at your house. And people are coming in. What is the host doing? If the party starts at 3 o'clock, what is the host doing? The host is in the bathroom, cleaning it up.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah, they're doing the hair, the nails, and everything. So the party starts at 3. I'll get there at 2:15. Hey, by the way, I brought a gift, housewarming gift. I'm going to drop them off early. I really want to be the first one there. So we're there moving stuff around and, we getting close. I say, hey, go take a shower, go get cleaned up. I'll get the door. Why do I want to get the door? Because I want to be the first person the guest sees when they come through the door. Now they come through the door, I open the door, and let's call it Karen and Aaron. Karen and Aaron is at the door, I open the door, I ask, so how do you know Jackie and Frida? Oh, we're good friends. How do you know Jackie? How do you know Jackie and Frida? I'm their real estate agent. Now Karen and Aaron walks in the door, or whoever they walk in the door, they're looking around like, wow, this is nice. And they say to themselves, oh, they get it, but get a house bit bad, right? I hear it. And then the doorbell rings again. And then it rings again. And I see people in little huddles talking about how they friend got into this house with their situation. And then someone say, so you help Karen and Aaron get into this house? Yeah. Can you help me out? Absolutely. There's someone who says, yeah, we need help too. Can you help us? Oh, not you help me. Hey, come on, can you help us? I say, okay, I joke with your house. All right, this is what we're going to do. All the people who have bad credit, it's talking about. And, you should see them. They got the reflex in their oh, excuse me.
No shame.
Yeah.
We don't get this house.
This was fun. They get the best one in the house, and here's somebody going, there ain't enough chairs over here. I find that as an investor, you treat everyone as if they're the same. So to me, it doesn't matter if it's $1 million house or still won't be buying it. First off, I do $50,000 house. I treat everyone the same. I treat them with great deal of respect.
Yes.
And then I analyze the deal. When I look at a deal that I'm analyzing, I analyze it from the perspective of, do I want to buy this business? Most agents find a great deal to throw it on the MLS and disavise it. Another real estate agent who run a data investment. You buy that. You buy it.
Yeah, that's something that humbled me. I remember when I got my license, I was maybe a year or two in, and I had a condo in Belleville. And I will never forget this condo because he had a situation where the condo flooded, so he had to it had a flood, so he had to redo everything in the condo. And he let me put the condo on the MLS for $35,000. And at the time, I was a single mother of two girls, and I just went and did the open house and sat there and thought to myself, like, wow, this would have been the perfect situation for my children and I. And I was not in shape to get the condo financially or credit wise. And ultimately, he sold the condo for $25,000. And actually, it was newly remodeled. Everything had been done from top to bottom. And that was the first opportunity I missed out on that got my wheels turning.
Sure.
I have to put myself in a better position. So when the opportunity, at least when the opportunity arises, I can seize the opportunity. Um, and just having that mindset has helped me. I closed on a deal today, a house I pulled up at. And when I pulled up to the house, I was on the phone with my girlfriend. And I told her, like, this is my house. Because I knew that it was a situation where the seller just wanted to get rid of the property. And I got a great deal for the house. I made great money on the house. And that has been like my attitude, even with the people on my team, like, get your money in order. So when a situation arises, you get first dibs. You get to make the decision on if you want it or not, but you want to at least have the option to get it.
Absolutely. And be creative in how you pick it up.
That's true.
I put very little money into it. In fact, I walk away from the table with money. So one property I listed this couple's property, and it sold in like 2 days with like a 30, 45-day close of escrow. In the meantime, we wrote an offer on another property that they wanted to buy and couldn't buy it because something happened with his credit. And meantime, his house is under contract. And he's got to move. And the bank told him no, the house he wanted to buy. So I said to him, meet me at this particular address. So we met at that address on Sunday. And he rang the doorbell. I opened the door. And he came in and he flipped it. Wow. So what's this? I said, do you like this house? He said, yeah, this is beautiful. I said, would you like to buy it? And he said, well, yeah, but the bank is not going to loan me money because of credit report. And I said this, do you want a loan? Do you want a mortgage? Do you want a house? He says, I want a house. I said, what if I can make this house work for you? He says, yeah, but how am I going to do it? I said, this is my home. And I'm selling this home because there's a home that I want to buy. And if you buy this home, then I can buy the home that I want to buy. And he said, I don't know if I can afford this. I said, give me $80,000 and you can move to this home. And he said, I won't have 80 from the sale of the house. All I'm going to have is 40,000. So I said, okay, I'll loan you the money. So he said, you're going to loan me the money to buy your houses? Absolutely. I know you take good care of it. So the way I structured the deal was I just did a cash out refi for $40,000 and made him responsible for $40,000 in a dollar. He had 40 plus the 40 that I borrowed, right? The house that I was buying was the asking price was $530. I offered them $500. They accepted it. After they accepted it, I wrote them the bid, increasing the purchase price to $530,000. With the agreement that the seller would pay to the buyer's choice of contract for $30,000 of the contract. So when we closed on the house that I'm selling, I got his 40 plus my 40. And the house that I was buying, they gave me 30. The house that I was buying, my down payment was going to be $106,000. At the end of the day, I walked away with $125,000, putting down $106,000 on the house that I was buying. Guess what I did not have? PMI.
Right.
Because I put down 20%. I pulled out enough equity to fix up the house.
When you're dealing with people who have not so great credit, how do you gauge if it's a situation that you want to push on? Like, if you want to do business with this individual, because a lot of times people can't get fine. If it's a credit situation, if it's a income situation where they just haven't been filing taxes, I get it. But when the credit is a little bit shaky, how do you determine if it's worth the risk for you to take on that type of fund?
Tell me what happened if I was a credit to you.
So just asking questions. Just get understanding that.
If that happened then, will it happen again? I just make sure that I get enough upfront money so that in the event they have to go and discover the universe, I have enough equity in my hand.
Okay.
So that I could advertise house for sale, go down payment each month, and they qualify. My phone rings up the hook.
Yeah. I know a talk company mentioned to me that there's certain investors where they personally look for people that want land contracts, but they know they're going to default. Like, and then if they default, then they just run it, over and over and over again, and then just make money that way. Yeah, I'm sure.
It's no different to make it with American Wells Fargo and
Right.
Richardson. We're no different. Just became the bank. In creating the money, because that's what the rich people do.
Right.
One last great question, Latrice.
Do you have any finishing words or any advice that you want to give? Well, you gave a lot of great
Great information.
and I know we could probably talk forever, but what would you say is something that you definitely want the people to hear?
You don't take a chance, you don't stand a chance.
I like that.
That's a great.
That's a good one. If you don't take a chance, you don't stand a chance.
Lived that way a long time.
Well, I thank you very, very much for your time.
Yes.
And I know the girls are probably going to want to talk to you because we didn't even get to Costa Rica and all the other stuff, like other international purchases you have. So what's your preferred method of contact?
You have to contact information.
Tune in every week. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram, Sold, SOLD Sistas, SIST.
_sisters. SISTAS.
Sisters on Instagram. We appreciate any and all feedback, and thank you guys for tuning in.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Thank you.